one, two, and three.
I'm Councilwoman Jennifer Van Branken, and I am pretty certain this is a first. We are going to have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Nudie the Nutria. And Denny Lacoste is going to help a little bit. So if you'd lead us in the pledge.
You ready? Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Not only is Nudie a rock star locally, but Dennis's Seafood, where he calls home, is super special and important to this site because, you know, celebrating Lake Pontchartrain is about celebrating our fishing heritage, our seafood heritage. And so that is so much of what we're here to do today. We are very excited to be at the point of breaking ground, and you can see behind you literally the ground has started to move out here on several important projects, and so this is a big day for us. Several years ago, when I first became councilwoman, we did a study, and it really was to look at the strengths and weaknesses of this area of Jefferson Parish, and one of the things that came to light was Lake Pontchartrain is absolutely one of our largest assets. And the thing that we were underutilizing terribly was Lake Pontchartrain. And so that's why these projects are significant and why we are setting about to change that and bring people back to the lake. So we're breaking ground on two projects this morning. And you see we have illustrations of both because we've been working toward having things here that are recreational, that are educational. They have to be rooted in our history, rooted in what's authentic to us as a community, but with a nod to the future. And so that's what we're trying to bring to life here at Bucktown. The first project that we're going to talk about is the one that's most visible at the site this morning because we've already started to move the earth on what will be the Paddler's Canal. When you talk about getting into Lake Pontchartrain, unless you have a boat, it's been really hard on the south shore of Lake Pontchartrain to physically get into the lake. I remember being out at this site and I watched a kayaker going around. He was actually over in the harbor. And I finally walked over and I said, "Do you need some help? Is there something wrong?" He said, "I can't figure out a safe place for me to get out of here." And so having a kayak and canoe launch for people to safely get in with hand-powered craft, kayaks, canoes, pirogues, paddle boards, all of those things, that's why this project is so important. I always try to maximize our local dollars. And so we took our local funds and we were able to double that money through a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant. And so the Office of State Parks was tremendous. Because of the grant we got coming through the Lieutenant Governor's office, we were able to double our money, and every one of our dollars became two, and that's allowed us to do so much more out at this site.
Land and Water Conservation Fund is a federally funded grant that is specifically, it's administered through the National Park Service, and its main goal is to set aside parkland and natural areas for outdoor recreation and to conserve the outdoor recreation. So this project qualified. We applied for the grant. Suzette and Mitchell Alshauer, who run the program with State Parks, really looked at the project and immediately thought it was just perfect for the grant. And it adds so many things to the recreational opportunities for just walk-up recreation. And as Jennifer said, getting to the lake was a problem. That won't be a problem anymore because we're going to have this beautiful paddler's launch. We're also going to have the Living Shoreline project that is going to be built, and there'll be blue ways through that. So someone will be able to come here, either put their own kayak or canoe in, or eventually probably rent one, and be able to paddle all the way down to Bonneville Boat Launch. There'll be habitat in there for fishing and paddling. So it's going to be really returning the neighborhood to the lake. You know, the history of Bucktown was always about the lake and the lakefront. The levees came up, and it kind of cut the park off. So what we tried to do with the master plan was return that interface to the neighborhood with the lake. So we've got a lot of things planned in the park. This project allows us to get into the lake. We have other projects that allow us to easily traverse the levee. We have playgrounds and a lot of other things that are thematic to the lakefront and the history of the fleet, and just kind of what Bucktown was about. We've got a Bucktown boogie stage, so that we can have the festivals and the things that took place here, from the 20s through the 70s when the levees started to cut it off.
The second project is the Bird's Nest Learning Pavilion. Again, you can see from the way that it's envisioned, and I was talking to Blake from Principal Engineering, who's our partner on this project. When it started out, it was pretty much a plain pavilion, and we were thinking of putting it up in the air. But again, with the creativity that Joey Furr brought, we thought, no, let's have it be much more whimsical and engaging. Let's have this tree house, this bird's nest, to teach us about birds and the environment, look like trees. So it's metal leaves, and it's they're not actual trees, but having this creativity, I think, is going to engage young and old to bring them out to the lake to learn about our environment, the birds of our environment, the environment, the natural landscape that's around us. Again, we had tremendous partners on this project. Community development block grant funds were a key source of this funding, and so we're very appreciative for that partnership.
I'm really happy to be here representing the Louisiana Office of Community Development. As Jennifer mentioned, there were lots of different partners on this project and lots of different funding sources. And for this one, we ended up coupling together multiple funds with the Office of Community Development providing over $400,000 of community development block grant funds. This is just an exciting demonstration of our commitment to working closely with local, state, and federal partners to ensure Louisiana's recovery is safer, it's stronger, and it's smarter than it ever has been before. We're really proud to be a partner on this project. It's a great example of what we can do when we work together. Thank you so much for letting us be here to celebrate the groundbreaking.
I think Susan was most excited again about meeting Nutria this morning, but Nudie is the rock star. Another rock star for this project especially. Years ago when we were first master planning this site, we knew it was going to take funding for each of these projects to be able to bring them to fruition, and we can't do that alone. And so we reached out to the Lieutenant Governor. Billy Nungesser has been supportive of this project from the moment we talked about it. And he was originally the person who said, you know what, this is a good fit for some of those grants that come through the Department of State Parks and, again, Land and Water Conservation Fund. We could not have done it without the Lieutenant Governor. So I definitely want to bring him up at this moment of the groundbreaking just to talk about the partnership. You helped us make this possible, so thank you. We've already covered a lot of the facts and figures. So.
Well, Jennifer, thank you. I'm just here. We just unveiled a new recycling program at our state parks at Fontainebleau this morning, and I just wanted to come support your passion from the first time we met. How could you ever say no? Your love for this lake and the lakefront is incredible, and I'm excited to be here today just to say thank you to everybody involved, especially you for your drive to keep this thing focused, get it funded. And I think this is the start of a beautiful development that everybody will be able to enjoy. So thank you for your partnership, and thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. He's being humble about it, but when it comes down to it, every $1 we had locally became $2 because of the grant that came through the Lieutenant Governor's office. So we're very appreciative for that Land and Water Conservation Fund grants. Both of these are approximately $1.5 million. And both of them are scheduled to be complete in January of 2024. So just a few months down the line, we'll be out here enjoying these projects. So with that, I want to thank everyone for being here. And while you are here, please help us commemorate this moment. Join us, grab a shovel or get behind us. And if Nudie the Nutria has an assistant to hold the shovel, we'd be happy to have him up here as well. So please come help us document this moment. And thanks to my staff for helping to make this possible. Public Information for being here, to broadcast it, General Services for bringing out the tent because it's hot as heck without it. So thank you all for being here. Let's break ground.
Everybody's good.
I think we're good.
We're good.